Scott Wetzel is not for everyone. For instance, sane people who can easily tell right from wrong or strongly urge to change the channel. Doctors Radio declared listening to Scott Wetzel can be hazardous to your health and can cause sickness, strokes, or wanting to take long walks on short piers. Feelings of agitation, dizziness, depression, frustration, and cold sweats are common when listening to Scott. You can have a bad reaction, such as confusion, redness in the face, teeth clenching, fist pounding, wanting to put a fork in your eye, and feeling the need to throw your radio out the window. Listeners have also reported increased swearing, trouble sleeping, and a strong desire to gamble. Truckers and drivers are urged to stay away. Learn from Jack from Arkansas. As for women, don't even think about it.
Oh no, my nipples clearly got erect.
You've been warned. Now, here's your host, Scott Wetzel.
And welcome to the Scott Wetzel Show right here on FanStream Sports on a Thursday afternoon. Yours truly sitting in for the next hour and a half or so. Taking a look at the world of sports. We got some political stuff to throw at you as well. We got emails, we got tweets, and we got our YouTube chat. Make sure you watch it on YouTube. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll have some comments back and forth throughout the program today. So, beautiful day here on Long Island. What are we going to be talking about today, you ask? How about the Fernando run starts in Las Vegas, Red Sox run ends, WNBA stupidity continues. SEC standing firm, Ty Lawson, the idiot, Tyreek Hill update on his injury, Josh Allen addiction, Buffalo Bill fans, Michael Irvin'S top 5 wide receivers, Mr. Vegas' top 5 wide receivers as well, and is Mr. Vegas holding on to a almost $500,000 ticket? Yes, that is a possibility. We'll get to all those stories. Again, plus your emails, tweets, and YouTube chat. Hit that subscribe button and fire away. What's going on, LLs, LWs? How are you on this, beautiful Thursday? It is gorgeous outside. It really is. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. Yesterday a little overcast, but today, man, you couldn't ask for a better day today. Sunny skies, temperatures in the 80s, and hopefully having some fun along the way here. So, big news, not really big news, but breaking news a little bit, 5-10 minutes before we came on the air here. First overall draft choice, Fernando Mendoza signs his rookie contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. Gets a 4-year, $57 million, 57.27 to to be exact, $57 million contract, fully guaranteed, right? Fully guaranteed 5th-year option, obviously, if they want to pick up the 5th year after the 3rd year, as most teams do with this first-round draft choice situation. So Raiders' entire draft class now all in the fold. Camps open up tomorrow for them. And, let the training camp competition begin, which we'll get into here. Fernando versus Kirk Cousins versus Aiden O'Connell. Who's going to get the start? But I go back to yesterday, though, right? What we talked about with the baseball stuff. So here's the first overall pick in football. And chances are much, much, much greater that the first overall pick in football will play. And basically all the first-round draft choices in football play some, right? Maybe not from the beginning of the season, but certainly that they get in there. Versus baseball, when it's an extreme rarity. You could be the first overall pick, and you're not going into the majors, barring a few exceptions. But basically, he got the same amount, maybe a little bit more. The first overall pick in baseball got almost $9 million as a signing bonus. And Fernando got, if you divide the 4 by, 60, he got about 15 million. So it is a little bit more, maybe 19 million. But, football you play, baseball you don't. That's I told you yesterday, those baseball contracts for these first-round picks are crazy. And the don't be veterans are fighting for that. It's so stupid. But that said, Raiders get their guy. And now Ty Simpson, the Rams quarterback, first round. He's the only first-round pick that is yet to sign his contract yet. So, we went over those first-round battles and quarterback battles the other day. And I failed to mention this one. That this is certainly another one. This might be, one of the most intriguing of all, in that you got the first round pick in Mendoza. You want to see what he's made of. You're paying him, $57 million, all guaranteed, which is really amazing, right? Or you go with Kirk Cousins, more than likely. I mean, you throw in Aiden O'Connell in there, but chances are it's going to be O'Connell. It's going to be Cousins or Mendoza, right? So, yeah, that's an interesting, it's, is Kirk Cousins more than likely going to be better than Fernando Mendoza? Yeah, right? I mean, you're talking about a 10-year quarterback versus a rookie who doesn't know anything. But how much does Mendoza, this is the proverbial question that you ask the head coaches and GMs. How much does the rookie quarterback have to show you in order for you to say, okay, you're our starter? Even though the other guy, in this case, Kirk Cousins, is probably going to be a little bit better. But ultimately, where does your season lie? Kirk Cousins can take you to 9-8, maybe, right? What does that get you? If Fernando Mendoza can take you to 6-11, is it worth him being in there, getting experience? I'm not one that says the starting quarterback or the first-round quarterback should sit the bench. I'm really not. I know a lot of people believe that, and I'm not saying they're necessarily wrong. I can give you 1,000 examples of the guy sitting the bench and him working out versus the guy that starts and doesn't. But I can give you plenty of examples of the guy that starts his rookie year. Drake May looks awful, although he came midway through. But then, turned it on basically his second year. So there are examples of both. There are. And like I said, I don't think there's a right and a wrong. But if I had to pick and choose, as long as the quarterback showed you a little something, he could call plays. He can read defenses a little bit. You're not limited to 5 plays because those are the only 5 plays he knows. If he can really just, you work on his timing and different things like that all comes with game experience. I don't think you learn on the bench, generally speaking. I really don't. Unless you're just completely overwhelmed. And if that's the case, then you sit him on the bench and you deal with, Kirk Cousins as your starting quarterback for as long as you possibly can. The danger, if you want to call it that, is Kirk Cousins gets off to a good start. And again, maybe you go, realistic, maybe you go 10-7. Maybe you challenge for a playoff spot. But in the end, what does it get you, right? I mean, what did you do except keep your future on the bench for a year or maybe, 10 games, something along those lines. And if you look at the Raiders' schedule, knowing that that's right, the ultimate goal for the Raiders is to get Mendoza in there and have him be successful. So the beginning of the season for the Raiders isn't bad. It really isn't when you look at their schedule. They open up with the Miami Dolphins. That's winnable. You got the Chargers. That's a rivalry, so it's in L.A., but, that's winnable for them. Then you got the New Orleans Saints. That's certainly winnable before you get into the meat of their schedule. So take a look at this gauntlet, right? After that, 3 winnable games. Then the Raiders have Kansas City, and Mahomes will definitely be back by then. New England on the road, Buffalo, and then the LA Rams. Then they get a reprieve with the Jets. Then they got at San Francisco, Seattle, at Denver. You're literally looking down the barrel. Even if they won 2 of those first 3 games, let's say they beat Miami and get a split out of Chargers and Saints, right? You're 2-1. You're feeling real good about yourself. Kirk Cousins, I guess, is going to be your starting quarterback. And then you have that gauntlet. I mean, how many games are they going to win? Now, you could yell and scream, listen, they beat New England last year and the Patriots went to the Super Bowl. You know what? You're right. They did, believe it or not. But I can't help. New England's got that game circled and will really, really be concentrating on that game. You're not beating Kansas City. You're not winning at New England. You're not beating Buffalo. You're not beating the Rams. Maybe you beat the Jets on the road. You're not beating at San Francisco, although that's a rival. Well, now that you're in Las Vegas, probably not really a rivalry. You're not beating the Super Bowl champs even at home. You're not winning at Denver. I mean, really, you're looking at 3, and how many losses would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're looking at 3-7. Maybe, if Mendoza doesn't start, maybe that's the cutoff point because they got Cleveland and then they get a bye. You could push it 1 more week, get to 3-8, have them have the full bye week to work with the starting unit, and then you come back second half of the season and you got, Chargers, Broncos, Titans, Arizona, and then Kansas City. You might do that, but man, that's a lost year. That's this is not old NFL when you keep these guys for 10 years. The shelf life of a player is not that long. You got to win basically now every single season. You really do. You want to see what you have in Mendoza. I mean, that's a tough. I mean, you can't have them face off the Rams, with their great defense, right? And same thing with San Francisco. It's got to be before that. Maybe that Buffalo game, Buffalo at home, get into a little bit of a shootout. Let Kirk Cousins play the first 5 games, and go 2-3, maybe 3-2, but probably 2-3, and then you bring in Mendoza. That's probably the most realistic scenario. But for me, probably would have been better. Like I said, as long as he's competent, as long as he knows what he's doing, go learn the lumps. Simple as that. And now, you got Tom Brady there, and Brady's all for, having the guy sit like he did. But he also throws, whenever he talks about that, he also throws in the caveat like, well, that was yesteryear. This is 2026. And we're paying these guys a lot of money. We want to see what we got. So, but he's in camp. And that's the main thing. He didn't think he wouldn't be, but at least he is there. Typical Raiders, right? They wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world to see their number 1 pick not be in camp when they open up today, but they do. So there you go. That's big news. Start the baseball. Red Sox lose last night. Their 15-game winning streak is done. That's okay. Like I said, they won yesterday afternoon. That was our best bet. We gave you that, and then we gave you the Dodgers at night, and the Dodgers won. So we went 2-0 again yesterday. So we got a nice little roll so far this week. We're 5-1 or 5-2 with our picks. So not too shabby. So now it's the now what with the Red Sox, right? And I told you this the other day. Winning streak is great. Keep on winning. But there was a part of me that was looking forward to them finally losing and see how they respond. And when you look at their schedule, as we've done this week, it's not, for a month, basically. Listen, the American League sucks. We all know that. So it's not going to be a difficult schedule if you're playing American League teams. But they're playing National League team. And there's not much. There's no excuse, no reason why the Red Sox can't continue to win. They start a series with Toronto at home tomorrow. Toronto's in last place. They stink. They're just brutal. They're finishing up a series. They've lost 7 of their last 8 to Blue Jays, so they're not exactly playing good baseball either. Then they embark on a 7-game road trip. Starts with the A's, 4 games in Sacramento. You can certainly go 3-1 there. Got a 3-game set against the Dodgers. That'll be tough, but okay. Then they got the White Sox back at home, A's back at home, Toronto on the road, Pittsburgh on the road, Arizona at home, San Francisco at home. That takes you all the way to August 23rd, a month from now. They're not playing the team outside of that 3-game series against the Dodgers. They're playing a bunch of last place or lousy teams. Oh, well, I'll throw you the White Sox. They're 5 games over 500. No one ever gives the White Sox respect, even they. But I'll give you the White Sox, even though they just swept them in Chicago. But other than that, you're playing Toronto a couple of times, the A's a couple of times, Pittsburgh, Arizona. This is the perfect scenario for Boston to continue to win. And I'm looking forward to the challenge of them, out of those, what is that, 25 games or so? You're not going to win all of them. But if you're a Red Sox fan, I think you'd be disappointed. Let me count them up exactly. How many do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 16, 20, 23, 26, 29, including the San Francisco series. 29 games. They really should go 20-9. With that schedule, a lot of those at home, the ones on the road, Pittsburgh and Toronto, who cares? And the A's, again, really outside of that Dodgers series, they should go 20-9. And if so, they'll be right there. And then if not, if they fall back to 15-14 or God forbid a losing record, then you just know the 15-game winning streak was, I don't know what it was, but it was certainly, unfortunately an anomaly. Because after that, road games at Miami, you got the Yankees, then you got Seattle. They really done. You got Tampa Bay left on the schedule. it's not a Cubs a little bit, but it's really, for the most part, it's a pretty easy schedule the rest of the season for Boston. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm rooted for them to win, obviously, last night, but I'm anticipating a good little run here. They got 2 weeks before the All-Star break. So let's see what happens. Bottom line, what can you do? Let's see what happens. The thing about this, they still don't have Roman Anthony. And, they don't arguably have their best outfielder hitter, and they don't have arguably their best pitcher in Gary Crochet. And they're still doing all this stuff. If they can get one of those two back, or God forbid, heaven forbid, both those guys back. But it doesn't look good for Crochet, as we told you yesterday. But weird day in baseball. They have these days. It's getaway day. So series, end yesterday. This is travel day. Series start tomorrow for the most part. So what's weird about it is, or unfortunate, there's nothing else going on. The last game of the day is 6:40, Kansas City at Detroit, Eastern time. That's it. You got 3 games this afternoon, 2 already underway. You got another one starting in about 50 minutes or so, Tampa Bay and Toronto. One starts at 5 o'clock, and then Kansas City and Detroit, and that's it. And you got no WNBA. Because the WNBA, for whatever, decide they're going to have their All-Star break, this weekend, which, okay, it is. I would have tried to push it one more day. They had a bunch of games yesterday. You had all day today to kind of have your own day if you wanted to, WNBA. But, all right, bottom line is there's not even WNBA. I mean, there's MLS soccer, I think. There might not even be soccer tonight. I mean, you literally might be stuck talking to the little lady. I mean, that Royals-Tigers game is going to end around 9 o'clock. You've got to, you're going to have to take one for the team. You got to circle this date on your calendar. I'm just going to have to sit back and talk to the little lady, whether it's the wife or the girlfriend. You have to take one for the team. For all those other days, you can't be bothered. So kind of a weird schedule for sure. I enjoy days like this, though. This kind of separates the men from the boys, if you will. Guys look at this schedule, like, what are we going to talk about? And, no one's going to be watching or listening. And, there's nothing really to bring up. We could talk NFL futures, but there's plenty of time for that next month, right? Remember, the NFL season doesn't start until September. We got a whole month plus. But I actually like days like this because this is where I find all the goofy stories and just have some fun with the stuff. So I'll continue with NFL before we get to too many goofy ones. How about Tyreek Hill? This is a good example of misleading headline. Like if you go to the 4-letter network, who we're going to make fun of a lot today. So first story, top of of their little top headlines there. So you think it's got to be a major story. Read Tyreek Hill posts video workout, says still no power in his leg. Remember, you had surgery last year's season ended midway through the season. So, when you hear that, you think, this guy's in serious trouble, right? So if you listen, though, to him actually speak, while he did say that, did we have that one? No, we don't have that one. We got so many videos here today. I've overwhelmed my producer. While he did say, I still have no power in my leg, but he sent out this 1.5-minute video. And he's running wind sprints and sweating and this and that. And, he's talking about his 2 surgeries 10 months after surgery and how he's so encouraged. He's gaining his speed back. It's a slow process, but everything's looking good. So it was a positive. But he did say, somewhere in there, some small little thing like, I had no power in my left leg right now. But the whole premise was I'm making progress and things are looking good. And he's showing him doing these wind sprints and everything. But because he said he had no power in his leg, they grabbed hold of that one little phrase and made it seem like he's having a complete setback. He's not doing well. He can't play. His career might be over. And that's nothing to what the point really was. So he was released by the Dolphins. He is a free agent. I thought somebody would take a flyer on him. Knowing he's got 5,000 kids with 5,000 different women, by the way, he knows he still needs money. For the most part with the Dolphins, he was okay. I really thought Kansas City, that would have been the absolute perfect team, right? His former club. We all thought he was going to sign with Kansas City, throw him a little bit of money. Maybe they did approach him and he said, no, I want up, $5 million, $10 million, pick a number. And team said, well, you're going to have to prove yourself before we give you that. I don't doubt that's probably it, to tell you the truth. I can't help but think someone would throw him $1 million and just say, yeah, I'll take a flyer. And why not? Right? Whether you're one of these young teams with a young quarterback or an older team that needs one more weapon, LA Rams, you put out, Tyreek Hill with the Rams with Puka and Devontae Adams. Oh my goodness, how great would they be? So I got a feeling that's it. It's just he wants, like I said, pick a number, $10 million, and teams say, well, we're not going to give you that. We're going to see more, before we give you that kind of money. So that's what I'm guessing. So he said it's about 10 months after doing my 2 surgeries. My left leg is the one that I injured. I have no power in my left leg, so I'm trying to regain all the power in my left leg, but it's one day at a time. But then again, you show him doing sprints and everything else, and he likes the challenge, and he was all, saying the cheetah would be back and this and that. It was a positive. It wasn't a negative. But again, no power in left leg is going to steal the headlines. So I would be encouraged. I would. Then you got the Tyreek or the Josh Allen story. I've never heard of this, so it's T or YZN, right? Apparently, he's addicted to YZN. What is YZN, right? What is Zin? It's basically kind of like chewing tobacco, but no nicotine, and you don't chew it, but you put it in between your gums and stuff. Smoke-free, spitless. You don't have to spit either. Multiple flavors, and you saw there he's addicted to the citrus flavor, I guess. And is it a drug? No, it's not a drug, but it's not good for you. Let's put it that way. You wouldn't want your son or daughter to do with it. Gum recession, mouth irritation, increased heart rate. People that are trying to quit smoking are the ones that usually gravitate to this stuff. Not FDA approved, highly addictive, because it is nicotine. I mean, isn't that why isn't that the danger of smoking? Isn't it the nicotine? So what's the difference if you're smoking or you're taking one of these pouches that have nothing but nicotine in it? I don't, it's the same thing, right? I mean, I would think. So how can a quarterback be addicted to that also? I mean, so he's not obviously keeping it in his mouth when he's playing, but one more little concern with our boy Josh Allen. Just one more little concern. That's all. A little weird, he's addicted to basically chewing tobacco without the chewing. So, and I'm always a little, sensitive to that. In that, my boy, God rest his soul, Dave Sherapan, died of mouth cancer. And I always remember him saying that he thought he got it by chewing tobacco when he was younger. He used to, be a coach and stuff, and he would always have the chewing tobacco. And that always kind of resonated with me. Like, yeah, I've never done that. I don't know. It doesn't even look good. Like, there's certain things, like riding a motorcycle. I used to have a motorcycle when I was a kid. A lot of fun. Oh, it's just great, right? But as I got older, I broke off that because I saw too many accidents. And you get in an accident on a motorcycle, you're dead or mangled so badly, right? So that's something like I could see being a lot of fun and wanting to do, but I don't because of the dangers. I don't see the attraction of chewing tobacco at all. I mean, it looks gross. I don't know what it tastes like, but it can't possibly taste any good. I mean, the spit in the goo, and oh God. So I can't even, this is flavored. I get this, but that would never appeal to me. I'll smoke a cigar. I don't smoke cigarettes. I didn't even smoke a pipe. I can get into that, but chewing tobacco and that gook in your mouth. Oh God. It must taste a lot better. Any of our viewers have chewing tobacco? Are any of you guys, gals out there? Do you chew? I mean, what is the attraction to that? I'll have sunflower seeds. That'll do. But that's about it. That doesn't really count, right? I understand that. But anyway, yeah, the chewing tobacco. Oh God, that's gross. Josh Allen, come on. SEC Media Days this week. So as we gear up for the college football season, SEC is still kind of, holding firm on it. They want to have more control. The talk of them breaking away, I don't know if it realistically would ever happen, but I wouldn't doubt it these days, and they're not backing down. They want more control. But the government's not giving the NCAA control. It's not the NCAA's fault. As we told you yesterday, they're trying to implement rules, but the government steps in and says, no, you give thousands and millions, forget thousands, millions of dollars in NIL money and this and all this other stuff. I don't know why they're blaming the NCAA, but they want their own reign. They want their own rules. And if that ever happens, I'm telling you, it would be bad for college football. There wouldn't be college football. They would go off on their own. They would no doubt try and attract other teams. And I think 5 years from now, if they don't add on more playoff teams and bring in more money that way, I think the NCAA will really threaten to leave. And 5 years from now, they'll call up the Ohio States and the Notre Dames and maybe the Clemsons and the Oregons of the world, get the top 10 teams outside of, the SEC and say, come join our superpower league. We got a contract with the 4-letter network or Fox or some other streaming service that's going to pay us $1 trillion. And no doubt they would. That's I think that is a strong possibility. The only downside to that is, one thing about the SEC, it's Alabama, it's Mississippi, it's South Carolina. You don't exactly have top markets. You do have Texas, Oklahoma, small market. Look at all the problems OKC has, right? The NBA doesn't want OKC to win. It's too small of a market. You got the Florida market with Florida, but there's not that many big time markets in the SEC. So they would have to go get whether it's Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon would. There's a lot of name recognition, but I don't know if you'd get the billion dollar TV contracts because you're going to be in Tupelo, Mississippi. Probably not going to happen. So Greenville, South Carolina, whatever the hell South Carolina is. That would be the only detriment to that, but they're holding firm. So got some interesting comments. We'll take a break, come back, hear from Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko, who had a funny little comment when asked about his team's complacency. And then, Ole Miss versus and LSU. I'm not sure when they play this year. I'll look it up. I hope they do, but that's going to be a lot of fun. I will say that. That'll be a lot of fun. So we'll get to that. And I might be not $1 million richer, but I might be $500,000 richer today. I'll explain when we come back. Scott Wetzel Show, Fantasy Sports.
Hi, golfers. IndyCar Tim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka, named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things? To showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. It is the Scott Wetzel Show right here on FanStream Sports on a Thursday afternoon. Yours truly sitting in for another hour or so, looking at all the things that are happening in the world of sports, little emails, some tweets, and some YouTube chat, as we got our good buddy Mark in Maryland. What's that background noise? I think that was my fan. I turned the fan off. That might have been the background noise. Then we got Liban Rules says, what is FanStream? Is that a new platform? I don't know if it's new. It's new for me, but it's not new. That these guys have been around for a little while. They got shows based out of Dallas and Tampa, Carolina, Ohio. Then they got kind of a national platform that we're on, and we're on all the others. So it's new for me. Yeah, I've been starting since July 1st. So go to fanstreamsports.com. That is the website. We got all of us have our YouTube pages, but the main service is fanstreamsports.com. That's where all the other shows are. So do appreciate you guys chatting, and then we'll throw some more out there as the show continues. I want to do a show one day without mentioning two things, right? LeBron obviously won, and the stupidity, the arrogance and stubbornness and egotistical LeBron, and then the stupidity of the WNBA. We'll start there. It's just like every single day goes by, and every single day you think, all right, they've reached a new low. It can't go any lower as far as stupidity goes. It just can't, right? And then the WNBA surprises you and does something just as or even more stupid than the day before. So two things, right? I'll give you the lesser of the two evils. So if you're familiar at all with the WNBA, you know, Sophia Cunningham, one of the better looking broads in the league, right? Indiana Fever, you know, I won't say partner because that would allude to something else. A teammate of you know, Caitlin Clark, right? So she's got this thing. I'm not sure when it started, a couple of weeks ago, where she kind of points. You know how Mutombo, when he blocked his shot way back when, he would wave the finger, and the NBA got all anal about that, which I thought was stupid too. He's not harming it. He's waving a finger. No big deal, right? So Cunningham kind of points her finger, just arbitrarily, like not really at the person who she may have blocked a shot or something of, or she's a guard, but just kind of points the finger. And it's kind of caught on a little bit, you know, at least on Twitter, right? So, okay, that's innocent enough. WNBA Players Association says, no, you can't do that. We're not going to market that. We're not going to brand that. We're not going to monetize that. So forget about it. We don't want to look to do that feature or look to monetize player conduct from a confrontation between our members. Listen, WNBA, right? Step in. It doesn't matter. No one's getting that upset about it. It's something people actually recognize. You know, when you're trying to become mainstream, you got to use all different forces. And some innocent little pointing the finger, who cares? Play it up. Let her point finger. Just pull her aside and say, listen, you can't point at anybody, right? And she doesn't like get in people's faces and point, you know, in their direction. She's like 15, 20 feet away, and she just kind of points. So you pull her aside and say, hey, listen, this is kind of cute, kind of funny. People kind of like it. So here's the deal. Here are the rules. If you point at somebody, it's going to be a technical foul. But if you just point in general like you do and she's got like a blank stare, right? Really, it's like an impressionable stare. Then, all right, let's have some fun with it. This fun is losing its funness, if that makes any sense. Is that a word? Funness? I just made it up. I tend to do that. It's losing the good nature about the WNBA. You got people hating Caitlin Clark, loving Caitlin Clark, hating Angel Reese, loving Angel Reese, hating this person, liking that person. Don't do this, don't do that. It's not handled the mainstream that it has become over the last year or two with any dignity at all. It really has not. And it starts from the top. That Kathy Engelberg, the commissioner, she's a dope. She's dumber than it's hard to say this, but I think she's one of the, if not the dumbest, certainly one of the dumbest commissioners. Dumber than Adam Silver, dumber than, all of them, really all of them. Manfred, the whole kit and caboodle. She's just completely been overwhelmed with the progress of the WNBA. It really has. And this is just another example. And another one, this is even worse than that one. That one's just like, all right, whatever, right? So All-Star Weekend this weekend. Going to have a 3-point shootout, like they have in the NBA All-Star game, right? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. 6 in the 3-point shootout. So good number of players, right? They got a broad from Portland. They got AC Fudd from Dallas. They got a Seattle player, Atlanta player, Ryan Howard, a Golden State player, and Toronto's Marina Mabrey. So what, Scott? They don't have one Caitlin Clark, 2 Caleb McBride, is one of the best 3-point shooters out of Minnesota, and more importantly, they don't even have Sabrina Ionescu. This is the champ that won 2 of the last 3, including last year's 3-point shootout. And she's a name. She's on probably the most recognizable team, the New York Liberty. She's one of certainly the best players, if not their best player, one of 2, right? She's been in the NBA shootout, going up against Steph Curry, if you remember that last year. She's won 2 of the last 3 WNBA shootouts, and she wasn't invited. Unless, of course, you read the 4-letter network, which we all know is the shill. So the 4-letter network puts out a story yesterday saying Caitlin Clark and Ionescu were not invited. However, when you talk to Serena, And I think you'd rather hear from the person. I won't say horse because that would be insulting, but even though it's just an expression. But I'd rather hear from the horse's mouth. What do you think, Sabrina? Did you turn down an invitation? That's what the Four-Letter Network says.
Yesterday, I guess you can't really, at least personally, I can't decline an offer I never got officially invited to. So I was pretty surprised to see that. Never got invited, and obviously that's, whether it's against Steph Curry or, in the W, I always go out and try and beat my record every single time I've gone out. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to set the record straight. That was just false, but I'm really excited for the participants in it, and obviously there's going to be a new winner, so I'm excited to see who wins.
Yeah, sure she is. Trying to be politically correct and saying the right thing there. This league is so stupid. So forget about the Four-Letter report. So clearly they were wrong about Ionescu. So maybe they were wrong about Caitlin Clark too. Maybe they didn't even invite Caitlin Clark. This league takes things. It's almost like they took the 4 or 5 most popular players. No Caitlin Clark, no Ionescu, no Paige Beckers, no Asia Wilson. And you may say, well, she's a center, Scott. Yeah, but she's the number 2 percentage person, 3-point shooter in the WNBA. No Cunningham. They take the 5 most popular players and say, we don't want you. We're not going to promote you. We don't need you. I know you're the face of the leagues. I know you all have popularity. I know you're all good. But you know what? We don't really need you. We'd rather go get Bridget Carlton. Who the fudge is that? Bridget Carlton, Natisha Heidemann, Janelle Saloon. Who are these people? No one's ever heard of them. You go get the 4 or 5 that are good 3-point shooters. Oh, by the way, so it's not like you're just putting anybody in there. They're all good 3-point shooters. I don't. This league is so stupid. It's not funny. It really is. Actually, it is funny. It is funny. Actually, why would you not go to Wilson and Cunningham and Beckers and I ask you and just beg them. Listen, people. We need you to do this. Don't be like the NBA where all the star players are all afraid. You guys, be in our 3-point shooter. No big deal. And I don't know. Maybe they I don't believe the Four-Letter Network report. They were clearly wrong, like I said, about Ionescu. So maybe they were wrong about Caitlin Clark. And if you find out they didn't invite Caitlin Clark or any of these others, I don't know this league. Really, it's like taking 2 steps backwards to go 4 steps backwards. It just every move they make is stupid and wrong. It's just amazing, remarkable. So, listen, Indiana top 5 DraftKings put out a tweet. Top 5 broadcasts this year were Indiana Fever games. Again, like Indiana, like Caitlin Clark, like Cunningham, hate them, whatever the case may be, they are the draw. They're clearly the draw. Embrace it. Don't push it away. Asia Wilson, one of the best players. It's not even a black-white issue. She's black. She's one of the best players. 2-time defending champs. Get her on the 3-point shootout. Second best 3-point shootout or 3-point percentage in the WNBA. She doesn't shoot that many, but she's number 2. Get her in this thing. People know these names. I'll never forget my technically second job. First job out of college in radio and TV was at a small little radio station. Second real first full-time job. Small little radio station, right? In Buttsville, New Jersey. I swear to God, there is a name. There is a town, Buttsville, Buttsville, New Jersey. So, little radio station, WSRR. The good old days. Run by the 2 lesbians. Remember that my story about getting fired. It was that radio station, right? So, one of the things that was said, I don't remember by who, just one of the things. And I remember learning it there, is we were basically a brand new radio station, took over for another station that went to phone. And the game plan was even though the signal was pretty good, it was heard all throughout Warren County. We wanted to be in our little section, our little town of Buttsville/Washington, New Jersey. And the goal was we cover that like there's no tomorrow, and then we expand. Slowly but surely you expand. Point is you stay focused, you capitalize on where you're at, and then you can expand. And that's what the WNBA should be doing. They should take the 5 or 6, 7, whatever it is, most popular players and say, now we're going to expand. We're going to capitalize with these 5, 6, 7, 8 women, and then we're going to eventually bridge out. We can't just start from left to right, 100-yard football field and cover it all. No, we're going to start at the 50-yard line, cover 10 yards, and then we're going to cover 15 yards. Then we're going to cover 20 yards, and then we expand. That's how you have growth. And the WNBA just doesn't – they don't get that. You're going to have AZ Fudd is probably the one, maybe Ryan Howard, if you're a WNBA person, you've heard of her. She's really good. But other than that, as far as nationally, who's ever heard of these people? This league is run, you wonder, this league is just run by a bunch of complete nitwits, just complete nitwits. So, all right, so that's the proverbial WNBA, screwed up again story. There's really nothing about, LeBron outside of there are some now reports, saying what I said. The moment Adam Silver talked about how the league is waiting for LeBron to make his decision so they can set their schedule, there's now stories saying that for whatever reason, I don't know why, that pissed him off. And that's what's making him now take that much longer of a time. Why? Because he felt pressured? I mean, I don't buy that at all. I do buy the fact, what I said, that led into his ego, that fed his ego. Oh, the whole league is waiting for me? Really? Why would he get pissed off at that? No, I think he just, he used that to feed his ego, and now he's going to wait another full week or so. Who knows when? Who knows? I'd love to see some of these teams just say, nope, we're not interested anymore. Sorry. You know what? We got to move on. We got other people that we want to get, and we're holding up our money and, whatever the case may be. But this is the downtime, and realistically, there's not that many free agents out there that there's no one else that you'd be like, okay, it's either LeBron or him. They're all kind of waiting for LeBron. So, but that's the latest. Nothing. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen this week. I thought it would, but apparently not. How about Ty Lawson, former NBA player? What a dope. He got arrested for shoplifting. Bottle of vodka. $30 stinking of vodka. Guy made over $43 million in his NBA career. $43 million, and he's got to shoplift a bottle of vodka. Then once he got arrested, he reportedly called the officer a bitch, a white bitch, kicked the glass wall, yelling and screaming, spit on the floor apparently, before eventually calming down and apologizing. Mental midgets, man. Mental midgets. You got to steal a bottle of vodka? Really? First of all, you should be drinking Johnny Walker like I do. But that said, pretty sad. Pretty dopey, really. All right. So we were talking about the 4-letter network. So I must say, I'm impressed with one and not surprised with the other story I'm about to tell you about the NBA and NFL. So 4-letter network, they had their big firings this week, right? And one of them was Ryan Clark. And the story goes how he was apparently right in the middle of recording NFL Live on Monday, and they interrupted the broadcaster during a commercial break, walked up to him and said, "You're fired." And he had to leave the TV show, right? So TMZ on X sent out a story saying that was not the case, that he wasn't forced to leave mid-show, and that he was rattled, their words, by the news, and both Ryan and ESPN agreed that it was better not to return. Okay. Either way, it's pretty bad. You're telling him, in the middle of a TV show, right? Well, why would you do that knowing it's going to affect his performance? So Clark saw that and said, no. What are you talking about? I wasn't forced, jokingly, he asked himself. He was pulled aside, told the news, and he asked, well, should I be done now? And they said yes. So that's not by mutual decision. And, the TMZ's not making that story up. Who are their sources? Well, it's got to be ESPN. They were the one that were there. So there's a second false story by the four-letter network. You wonder why I call it the four-letter network and we don't like it, right? That's why. You can't trust anything they say or do nowadays. It really is. To hide the shame. I mean, the whole premise of firing the guy in the middle of a show is stupid to begin with. Why would you do this? So even if he found out on Twitter, right, which is their concern, supposedly, once he starts yelling and screaming, if you think that's what he's going to do, then you go to a commercial break and you remove him from the studio. Simple as that. That's it. Now, I don't know Ryan Clark from a hole in the wall, but I'd be surprised if any broadcaster really did that, I know some, radio stations, they might, I know a couple guys that actually might do that, but not TV. What are you going to do, right? So, again, four-letter network, can't believe it. The other one is, and I was saying this on the podcast, I was not a Cam Newton fan. I think him ending up at Auburn and all the allegations in college and everything else, then he was, a little bit of a ham, not a little bit, a big ham, the Superman and everything's about me. And I didn't really think he was that good, but really but certainly one of the quarterbacks that started the scrambling and rolling out and all these different things that he did. And then really became a two-option guy running and throwing. But I was never a big fan. I just wasn't, right? But I will tell you, I did like his TV work. I thought he was good. I really did. I know that the big hat and all that other goofy stuff, I didn't quite get that, but I thought he was actually pretty good. I really did. I liked him. When it was a broadcast, when he was on, he wasn't a race baiter like Ryan Clark was. Not everything out of his mouth was about black and white and, like black players, like white players. And I really thought he did a good job. So, and that's why I'm happy to read what I'm going to read. His comments about being fired, as Clark was, is you can't make me hate ESPN. What I've learned, it was an internship. I'm a former athlete that did not study journalism. So now when you see how production actually works, you'll be a fool not to take your notes. So he was actually, he appreciated his time there. I think he was there 2 years. I think he was hired in 2024. So he was there for a couple of years, took the professional approach. Later added on, if you don't own your own platform, you're going to get overlooked, bypassed, be extinct like a dinosaur. But I'll tell you this, Ryan Clark, he's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I have my own podcast. So he had, like I said, the professional approach, which is good to see, rather than someone yelling and screaming and bitching and complaining. It's all part of, as I told you the other day, we've all been fired, man. They're all bad circumstances. It's never a good time to be fired. This is the time in the summertime when changes are made. It's the nature of the beast. It sucks. It's not right. They don't care about your feelings or thoughts. I told you the stories, but that's radio and TV. And you have to have your own, whether it's your own podcast or your own place like I have here with FanStream. You got to create that. I tell that to all the people that ask for advice. Create your own image, create your own show, get experience. That's the best way to do it. So anyway, four-letter network, shame on you. All right, quick little break. Am I sitting on a basically $500,000 ticket? We will find out. On FanStream Sports on a Thursday afternoon.
Hi, golfers. IndyCar Tim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka. Named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the Scott Wetzel Show. Scott's apparently having some difficulties with his camera. Scott, do you hear us?
I do hear you.
All right, we can hear you, but I can't see you.
Really? That's weird. Okay.
Why don't you do what you did last time pop out
Right.
and then maybe pop back? So it looks like maybe your camera's just turned off. Maybe I don't know. We'll get it fixed out for you guys. Appreciate y'all tuning into the Scott Wetzel Show right here on FanStream Sports. Somebody asked a little bit earlier, is FanStream a new platform? I heard Scott very eloquently answer that question. I will tell you guys. By the way, I'm producer Tim. I produce all of Scott's shows, set everything up for him, get all these videos loaded, and blast the show out. If you've seen him on social media, you've probably seen me at IndyCar Tim. You guys are welcome to follow me. I'll follow you right back. If y'all are part of Scott's family, you're part of our family.
FanStream Sports been around about, 5 years. As Scott said, we are in Ohio, Dallas, Tampa Bay, and the Carolinas. We've got all sorts of programming, entertainment, pop culture, a lot of sports. And all of the local teams, college and pro in those areas. We cover all of it, as well as tons of original written stuff over at fanstreamsports.com. Not just the local teams, but some national stuff as well. I probably write about 20 articles a day across all of the pages on our website, as well as Roundtable Sports. I'm a contributing editor at Roundtable Sports as well. But it is what it is. We're glad to have Scott and ready to grow this new show of his into the future with his expertise, I guess. I've been listening to Scott for a long time, going way back listening to Scott. So appreciate you guys' comments, the interaction. We are going to start, hopefully around football season, with live phone calls. I have to invent that technology, apparently, to make it work here on the platform. So I am diligently working on inventing the technology that will allow us to take phone calls where I don't have to give you my cell phone number and use my personal phone, because I don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. But we'll have some live phone calls, probably a couple of segments for Scott that at his behest. And come football season, this show will probably go at least 2 hours a day during football season, and we'll be right here alongside all of you boys and girls to make that happen. Let's go through some of the comments here. I don't know if we just got a couple. I don't know if Scott got to all of them or not yet. Mark, I don't know what the background noise was you were hearing. It might have been his fan. It might have been some bleed over from my computer, because I do a number of other things at the same time here. So whatever you heard, I apologize for it. Ryan agrees. I don't see the WNBA making NBA money, not in my lifetime. Hashtag no promos. No, absolutely. The WNBA is nothing without the NBA, right? As a matter of fact, doesn't the NBA pump millions of dollars a year into the WNBA just to make it survivable? I don't know that much about the WNBA, and that's my choice. But yeah, number one, the WNBA would be lost without the NBA, and the WNBA would be lost without the star players. And it looks like we have Scott back, but he's on the other camera. Are you okay for me to put this up there, Scott?
Figure it out after the show.
Let's try it. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Something goofy's happening. Not sure. We'll keep it like that, I guess, or like
whatever
that.
Works for you. Everything looks great from here. So
yeah, good enough, right? Good enough for now. So anyway, just having some camera issues. So let's look this way, right? That's where the camera is. So anyway, nice little comment by Jeff. The show is better off without seeing Scott's grill. Tell that to the wife. So where was I? So going back to being a millionaire, right? So I'm going online, as I normally do, just checking for stories that come up with, for today's show, right? And I see a picture of Terry Bradshaw. He's doing a stand-up somewhere, along the line. Relatively recently, because as you'll see, Bradshaw looks fairly old, right? So I said, all right, let me hit this story and see what it's all about. So yeah, here's
Can you guess what your most expensive trading card sold for?
Mine?
Yours.
$80.
Higher.
$800.
Higher.
$8,000. Get out of here. Are you serious?
I'm going to give you the price right now. $430,500.
Who would pay what for what card?
For your 1971 Topps card.
Did you hear that, Tammy? Yeah, I got a box of them.
You got a message for the person that bought it?
Yeah, hey man, don't get rid of it, because I hadn't been feeling good. And that sucker's going to bring some excuse me. Whew, it's going to bring a lot of money one of these days.
So I'm looking at this story, right? Let me go back to where the card pops up. Right around here. $430,000.
Who would pay what for what card?
For your 1971.
All right. So that's the card that goes for $430,000, right? And I'm watching this and I say, I've got that card. I used to, collect cards way back when, and I still have a whole bunch here at the house in these boxes and stuff. And I'm like, I got that card. I recognize that card. I remember that card. I got it. That's $430,000. Now it's got to be in mint condition, but I'm thinking to myself, you know what? These cards are thrown in a box that haven't been touched, not like thrown in the attic and they all, fall apart or whatever. This has been, thrown in my office in this box that holds on to things that I know, is not going to get ruined. And it's just like, I got that card. I'm sitting on, $400,000, maybe $500,000, right? I'm really thinking about this last night. So I stop everything. I go in my office where I know I have like 2 boxes about 1.5 feet long full of these cards that I've kept over the years, right? And 99% of them are baseball cards. But I know I have some football cards. And I recognize that card. I really do. So I searched and I searched and I searched and I found some. I'm going to go back after today's show and look for more. But I did find some cards, right? I got a Franco Harris card, right? Mint condition. Look at the corners and everything, right? But I need a Terry Bradshaw, Scott. I got a Jim Hart, if you remember him, Hall of Famer, fellow Southern Illinois Saluki, mint condition, 1975. Dan Deerdorf. If you remember Dan, right? Broadcaster as well as football player. Pretty good condition. I got a Charlie Taylor card. Washington Redskin. The old days Redskins, right? I still don't have a what's his face? Terry Bradshaw. I have a Ken Stabler card. Pretty good, right? And then I find this. Terry Bradshaw. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I'm all excited. I got the card. I knew I had the card. I knew it, right? The problem, and look at the condition, right? It's got perfectly XX. The picture is right in the middle. Sometimes the one side would be too much longer than the other or wider. That's no good. So it's got the name, obviously. There is a little brown spot right there. No big deal. So it might not be. I looked it up. There's like mint, semi-mint, light mint, and then there's like gem mint. So this would not be gem mint, but all right. So if gem mint goes for, $430,000, then this has got to go for a couple $100,000, $100,000. Hell, I'll take $50,000, right? Perfect. Look at the square. They never touched by human hand except for me. This might be the first time this has touched all in its entirety. Then I turn it around. And then I realize it's not 1971. They're giving stats up to 1974, which means this is a 1975 card. It looks the same. Look at that picture, and then I'll show you the picture again where I think I can. Where
did you hear that, Tammy? Yeah, I got a box of
it does look the same.
What card?
But
For your 19
it's not. It's very similar, but it's not the same. So, and if you know anything about rookie cards, and about collecting card rookies are worth so much more. So I did look it up, and in mint condition, it's worth about $2,000. This one might not be in mint because that little stain mark there on the side, but I'm thinking a couple of $100. Problem is, you got to get it authenticated or whatever it's called. Actually, you got to get it graded. Not really authenticated, but you got to get graded. But it costs like $100 to get it graded. The dopey card's only worth $200. So what am I going to spend $100 to get it graded for $200? Spend $100 to see it graded for $200 and maybe sell it for what, $150? So it's back to being basically worthless. I looked at some of these other cards. They're all kind of in the same boat. I'm better off just selling them on my own, going to, YouTube or whatever. And Amazon and seeing how much they're sold for. And then, base my price on that. But I thought I had it, man. I really, for a second there, I really, really, really thought I had a $400,000 car. I'll look for others, but these are all 1975s. So I must have, for whatever reason, I was just a kid back then. I must have started just collecting 1975s. So I'm guessing any other football ones I find will be 1975 football ones. So almost. Close, but no cigar. Oh, how great would that have been, right? If I found a 1971 that I just threw in the closet and just forgot about after all these years and be worth $500,000 basically. Wow. No such luck. No such luck. We talked about the SEC Media Days, right? Here's Mike Elko, Texas A&M
After
head
last
coach.
year's playoff run, how do you keep this team from becoming satisfied?
I show them our trophy case, and it's empty. And I think they're all very aware of that. And so, I think, listen, we live in a lot of worlds. And so we're obviously happy with the things that we accomplished. We're happy with the direction of our program. But it's also not lost on us that we haven't won the hardware that we're searching for. And so, that gets us into a mindset of growth and getting back to work to go finish this thing a little bit better than we did last year and put ourselves in a better position maybe to compete for some trophies.
That's pretty funny. What are you going to do to keep your club from being complacent? Just show them our trophy case and have it be empty. I like him. You know what? He doesn't if you saw him walking down the street, I don't know if you necessarily think football coach, right? But I do like him. He's pretty funny guy. 15 minutes of fame for Ryan Fox. Not quite ending just yet, but I'll show you one last clip of him. How fast he speed golfs versus other golfers. So someone put him up next to Patrick Cantlay, as you'll see here. And I think Fox got off 9 shots before Cantlay got off 1. Maybe. 2. Cantlay taking his time. 3. And 4. That's not Cantlay on tape. That's really him. 6. All right, not quite 9. 6 shots before Cantlay finally took 1. I mean, that's just nuts. That's just some of these golfers are just lunatics as far as prepping. I golf. You'll get up to the ball and you'll take a couple of swings and you'll go up, approach the ball once or twice, wiggle your ass or whatever the hell they're doing there. But then you shoot. Some of these guys are just way too long. Speaking of counting, all right. So again, last night I'm on Twitter looking for stories in different places, right? So did you see the shooting? And I think it was in Pennsylvania. Let me just double check on that, right? I think it was Pennsylvania. So I watched this video and I thought of one thing automatically. Connecticut, rather. Connecticut. I thought of let me see if you think of the same thing. So picture the guy is beating his father, no less, with a baseball bat, right? Pounding it over his head in the front yard when the police come.
Shoot him!
2.
Shoot him!
3.
But he's fucking missing.
4.
He's fucking missing.
Woman who's taking this is shoot him.
Put it down! I'm gonna fucking shoot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Before he finally goes down. The guy, even more shots. I mean, the dude took 20 shots. Literally, I counted them. 20 shots.
Shoot him!
Look at it. This is doing to his father. Over the head with the baseball bat, right? The police officer is right there. He's 10 feet away.
Put it down! I'm gonna fucking
Look at how many shots he's taking. The guy's still standing swinging the bat. I mean, how many shots do you need? You're 10 feet away from the guy. I mean, what kind of course did you take in shooting? Not to mention, he's in the middle of a neighborhood, and he's shooting 15, literally 20 shots just and missing. So who the hell knows where those bullets are going, right? Wow, that's like weird. How bad of a shot are you, dude? Right? I mean, how freaking bad of a shot are you? Holy crow. Speaking of 15 minutes of fame ending, so we know the guy that got flipped in the air by the Bison, late last week, right? On the internet or earlier this week, whatever it was, goes to the hospital and everything else. So one last man versus Bison video.
On the ground, you could have stomped me, you could have gored me, could have done anything. They move faster than you could ever imagine. He just kept coming, and he was more aggressive. And as soon as he got off that tree, he launched me in the air. I didn't get bruises from him launching me in the air. It was the landing that came the problem.
It's actually broken in multiple pieces, and you can see some fragments here, and there are fracture and break lines right through that.
I always felt safe and secure. I wasn't ever terrified. And you have to remember, I'm 1,500 miles from home in an area where I'm busted up and can't get up and leave. I could not give them more glowing reviews. They were amazing.
Listen, it is true. The Bison could have just stomped on him to death, I guess, realistically, if he's just standing over him like that. I mean, I don't know if there was some epiphany moment for the Bison that all of a sudden he said, I'm going to keep this guy alive or not, or just maybe that's just not his nature. He just calmed down. He was tired. Who knows what, or he accomplished what he set out to accomplish, flipping the guy up in the air. I mean, I don't know, something along those lines. But, clearly that's kind of, there's always something else that comes around that just kind of changes things. And, he got his 15 minutes of fame, and hopefully he made some money somehow, sell some T-shirts or something along those lines. But we've kind of moved on, I suppose, from that. Want to throw a Michael Jordan video at you. This is Jordan always do our Bird versus Jordan stuff. So this is Bird talking about, for the younger crew out there, Michael Jordan was the greatest player of all time. Then he takes a sabbatical, plays baseball with the Chicago White Sox for a couple of seasons, and then comes back and plays, for the Bulls again and wins 3 more championships. So he won 6 overall, 3 before, 3 after. But it was the weirdest thing. It's like, why is he doing this? His father got killed, and people thought it was a gambling thing, that he was forced out of the league because he was gambling. I don't know. That's one of the sports grade mysteries. I don't think they would have done that. I really don't. I think they would have just told him stop gambling. Maybe they warned him, so they kicked him out of the league, suspended him. I really don't believe that. I really don't. I just think the guy got bored. He kind of talked about that in this video.
Best news in today that sells is negative news.
That's what other reporters want.
I know. And not that I live in a box to where I'm afraid to do things. Mm-hmm. I know that, as my father says, the what if comment is to be able to deal with the consequences of what decisions you make. And you think about that. If you think about the consequences, pro or con, you make the right decisions that you feel is the right decision. Now, all the decisions I made,
interesting part,
other people may view to be not the right decisions from their perspective. But for me to go play baseball, and everybody says, "Oh, it was a failed opportunity to play baseball." That's what they think. For me, it was the best thing that could have happened for me because it allowed me to go back to the game with a stronger passion. At the same time, I was able to understand the love that these minor league baseball players have, making $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month, hands are. Which is nothing. But for them, it was big. To me, to see that helped me put things in perspective, to understand the platform that I was on in 93, that when I went back to it in 95 and 96, I appreciated it even greater. So when we won those championships and we went through those, those things mattered to me far greater than what I did in 91, 92, 93.
That's interesting, huh?
People don't see that, and people will never understand that to be success. You know, all they think about, well, he batted 202, you know, and
he wasn't a
struck
good
out
player.
a certain number
But
of times.
he made the majors, though.
You know, but the effort was there, and the learning curve and the passion was there that has transcended not just to me, but to other people who are afraid to do things because they're worried about the perception that may come from other places. To me, that's more gratifying than anything, you know. So that's the things that my father and my mother instilled in me. Take a negative and turn it into a positive. Don't be afraid to fail.
Huh. So basically what he's saying is, you know, he wouldn't have won those three other, I don't necessarily believe this, but he wouldn't have won those three other championships if he just would have continued playing, because the love of the sport and the challenge and this and that would have been gone. He needed to step away, play baseball for a couple of years, and then come back to reignite the flame he had for basketball. Interesting. You know, again, I don't know if I necessarily believe that or not. But, you know, if that's what it took for him to you know, get back into the love of basketball, because he loved basketball. But there was so much pressure on him, so much pressure on him to win. It really, you know, there's probably no pressure on any other athlete. Maybe McElroy, you know, finishing the Grand Slam, that would be a good comparison. But otherwise, at any hockey team, you know, maybe Connor McDavid, you know, winning, but not really. You know, maybe up in Edmonton in Canada, you know, when you're closer to the situation, perhaps, but nationally, not really. But for Jordan, he was carrying the league and all the, you know, David Stern and Jordan rules, and you know, the NBA wanted him to win. NBC doing the broadcast wanted him to win. Every fan in the world was in love. This is not like LeBron, where everybody hates LeBron. Everybody loved Michael. Even here in New York, with the Knicks being one of their main competitors, that there were a lot of LeBron, a lot. So there was a lot of pressure on him, I must say. So, you know, on the other half of our Jordan versus, you know, Larry Bird, here's the Larry Bird side today.
All right, I got one Christmas game. I remember it like yesterday. So we're warming up, everybody's in that holiday mood, and Larry walks by me with that crooked little smile of his, and he goes, "Mike, I got a Christmas present for you today." Now, listen, when Larry says that ain't Santa Claus talk. That means you're about to have a long night. So the game starts, I'm guarding him. First possession, he doesn't even look at me. He just walks to the corner like he's bored, like he's checking his mailbox or something. I'm thinking, ain't no way he's shooting this. Ball swings over. Larry catches it still, not even looking at me, and he goes, "Here's your present." Boom, 3, right in my face. Didn't touch the rim. I look at him like, "Really?" And he whispers, "Merry fucking Christmas, Mike." Man, people talk about trash talk today. They ain't never heard Larry Bird. That man would tell you the shot, tell you the spot, tell you the score, and then do it, all in the same breath. That's Larry. You don't know trash talk until Larry Bird gives you a Christmas gift.
There you go. How funny is that? Pretty good. All right, quick little break. We'll throw one more break in there, Tim. Then we'll come back, and I got 2 more videos, can't miss videos. One guy stuck up in the air, and another one with just a message that you can't really miss. So all that's coming up right here on a Thursday afternoon. What are we at? 3:28 Eastern time right here on FanStream Sports.
Hi, golfers. IndyCar Tim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka, named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. It is the Scott Wetzel Show on this Thursday edition right here on FanStreamSports.com, FanStreamSports.com. So just a couple of stories to throw at you, and then we'll check the headlines one more time and give you the one winner that we got the one baseball game later on tonight. So remember last week we gave you the story about the guy stuck in the porta potty, which I still can't believe is true. I really, AI and stuff like that. I mean, it looked like it was a legitimate source. A news company did actually story on it. So unless they really phoned it up, I guess it is true, right? So I'm a little leery with some of this stuff. So, but anyway, this week we try and give you one of these goofy stories at least a week. So now we got another guy that was stuck in a sign. Well, here, you see.
That thumbs up. The man appeared to be in good spirits despite being stranded inside this massive truck stop sign for hours. Fire officials say the worker was doing maintenance near the Lorenzo Road exit off I-55 in Wilmington when that lift that got him up there experienced a problem. That happened around 11 Tuesday morning. The sign stands about 130 feet tall and has no ladder, which proved to be an issue for responding fire crews, whose ladders only reach about 100 feet tall. Crews initially struggled to find equipment tall enough to reach him. They eventually found a specialized lift at a job site in Joliet, and Illinois State Police escorted it to Wilmington. About 5 hours after he became trapped, the worker was seen getting into a crane basket and was brought safely back down. Fire officials say the...
Wow. That is fun. How does a guy get stuck? I mean, I guess the ladder that he was on broke, but I mean, there's not another ladder. I mean, I don't know how they can make those poles without ladders on them, right? Right away, that's pretty stupid. You think that would be illegal. There would be permits and whatever, and they would have to make sure that there are ladders, steps, in case something crazy like that happens. Or maybe not, because they don't want people, climbing up those things. Maybe that, now they say that's probably the fear. There'll be some dopes to Scott that'll be one of the, a couple of kids that'll be climbing up and falling and breaking their necks, literally. So, but it's amazing, man. Some of this stuff is just so goofy, but it's true. I mean, people get into the weirdest situations. They really do. So, and then we had did we do the no, we didn't do this one. So one last one to let you go. First up, let's couple baseball winners. If you want to, if you're interested, Braves did beat the Padres 6-5. The Chris Sale get the win there. You relayed probably your run and a half on that one. Sale did win 11-6 points. It's amazing. So you got two games. You got Arizona and St. Louis. Fod versus McGreevy. Nothing there. Royals versus Tigers. Royals going bullpen by committee type of game against Melton for Detroit, who is 5-1. Troy Melton, pretty good pitcher. But you know what? I would go with the under in that game, 8.5. That'll be our one play of the day. Melton's a good pitcher, ERA under 2. Bullpen by committee games. I love betting unders and bullpen by committee games. Used to be you'd bet an over because the relievers weren't any good, but not anymore. Relievers are better. I'd rather have 5 relievers go, 2 innings each versus one starter go 7, because the starter, he doesn't have the test of time. The relievers, you come in, you get the 3 outs, 4 outs, 5 outs, and boom, you're pulled. It's tough to score runs that way. It really is. So give me the under 8.5. You got to have a play. Why not? No WNBA play because the WNBA is off. So any other headlines going on in the world of sports? Nothing there. Let me check a couple of emails here. Always tend to have an email or two. Rafi Tickets sent me gas prices. $6.99 for regular. He lives in California. $7, $7 stinking dollars for a gallon of gasoline. I filled up my car the other day, 2 days ago, right? I go into a BP, and outside this, it said $3.84. And I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty good. Now, that's normally the cash price, and I was going to pay by credit card, but usually it's about 10 cents more. So I'm thinking, all right, so $3.94, that's not that bad. Maybe I'll put in $20 in cash anyway, right? I got that in my pocket. So I go up there, and I see cash price, same as credit card price. I'm like, hey, $3.84. Nowadays, that's terrific. Most are right around $4. I'm saving 15 cents a gallon. All right, that's worth it. Let me do it. Put my credit card in. And it comes up $3.99. I'm like, what the fudge? It says $3.84, same price, cash as credit card. Yeah, for the $3.99. The $3.84 is the BP credit card. Then you get the $3.84. Everybody else gets the $3.99. How many people have a BP freaking credit card, right? 5? How many people, though, see that $3.84 sign and think, okay, you can't even get $3.84 for cash. It's still $3.99. I don't like being deceived. Deceptive. I don't like being deceived. And that's what that is. That clearly, I bet you 85% of their business is going to that gas station, and they're all like that, BPs, thinking they're getting to 384 when they're and probably don't even notice. Probably how many people really look and see on the dial what you're getting. I did because I was little, like, wait a minute. There should be a law against that. You can't advertise a price in which 5% of your customers literally, and probably not even that, are paying that price. They know what they're doing. I'll never go to a BP ever again. Simple as that. I'll pay 15, 20 cents more if I have to, just because these people are crooks. They know what they're doing. The whole world's pulling into that gas station. I bet those other gas stations are all pissed off too, but what are you going to do, right? But they know that they're thinking the same thing. Yeah, they're advertising 384. We're advertising 399. Of course, they're going to go to the 384. But then when you pull in, you stop your car, and you realize you're paying 399. What are you going to do? Pull out, right? Famous last words, I know. So, yeah, Rolo Rafi, at least we're not paying $6.99. Man, that's crazy. That is just crazy, crazy, crazy. So, anything else we got going on? No, we got Mark Lawrence going to join us on Fridays. At least this stuff. Well, not tomorrow. Starting next week. I kind of asked him for like once, but if he, we've had him on a regular basis, and if he wants to come on a regular basis, we're going to do that. So he's a great, great, great guy. He knows his college football. He's got the playbook that we always like and talk about. So that's pretty cool. Anything else going on here? No, I think that's about it. So one last video. We will leave you with this.
See the brain. So somebody invented the MRI. Wanted to see bones, invented the X-ray. Wanted to see babies in the womb, ultrasound. Hell, we got CAT scans, PET scans, 3D imaging. We got machines that can look through clothes at the airport. We got satellites that can read the license plate from space. They can print organs now. They can do remote surgery with a robot sitting in another state. So would somebody please explain to me why my doctor's got to stick his finger up my ass?
We'll leave you with that. Good question. Good question. Tomorrow, Football Friday, we'll have something special for you. I'm not sure what. We do have a little college basketball talk or NBA talk tomorrow and WNBA as well with one of our great guests. Not sure who exactly, but we'll have someone for sure. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, folks. Make sure you log on, hit that subscribe button. Go to fanstreamsports.com. There's all the other shows. You want to listen and watch all the other shows. Fanstreamsports.com. We are here Monday through Friday, 2 to right around now, right close to 4 o'clock, 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock, an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. So fanstreamsports.com is the home. I got 2 more referee basketball games later on tonight. No issues last night, so hopefully that happens again tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow right here on the Scott Wetzel Show. Enjoy your Thursday, folks, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.